What is up, guys? 3Days Awesome here, and welcome back to MONSTERVERSE Theories, the series where we go over theories surrounding Godzilla, King Kong, or any other giant monsters in Legendary Pictures' cinematic monster universe, also known as the MONSTERVERSE. So we got a total of 3 theories for you guys today. We got MONSTERVERSE Theories is back, and we got 3 of them. 2 of them are really juicy. One of them is interesting on paper. I just don't know how much of a spark in conversation it's going to start, but we can try anyways. Before we can get into these juicy theories, I'm a real one, and I gotta do some shameless plugs. So if you are new here to the channel, please consider leaving a like. Comment down below your favorite part of the video or any other questions in this video I might ask you. Answer them down there. Subscribe if you are new. Check out the social media links down below. And 2 more disclaimers. Number 1, I had to remake this video. And I absolutely mean it. Remake it. I uploaded the original video. I was watching it for quality control just to be absolutely sure before I hit public. And I realized I majorly fucked up on 3 different accounts. I'm not going to get into what they were, but I am redoing this entire video for you guys. So, and I hope you guys can appreciate that. My final disclaimer is that this is going to be very similar to D-Man's video. Not similar in a sense. He uploaded a video kind of diving into his theories, and the theories are very similar to mine. At least one of them is. So I was actually watching that video as I was editing mine, the first one. So I'm not copying him, I promise. I think we're just on the same wavelength. I think me and him, we're MONSTERVERSE fans. We're huge MONSTERVERSE fans. And if D-Man, if you're watching this video, maybe you should consider subscribing. But again, before I can even talk about my theories on Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, I know, I'm done with my plugs, I'm done with my disclaimers, but there's a bit of lore that we have to get into. So I have actually pulled the audio from the Godzilla vs. Kong physical novelization, because this is where I'm pulling a lot of my sources from to back up my theories. So I'm going to play the actual audio from the audiobook. I edited it down to the most important parts, so that way you're not sitting here for like 5 minutes and this video is longer. And honestly, the narration, while it's good in the novelization, obviously the guy is talking about, it's really drawn out is what I'm trying to say. He draws it out, and I turned this 5-minute audio piece into about 1:30 to save you time, to save you frustration, and so I can avoid a possible, copyright claim. So, but I am using this for transformative purposes. So you little copyright holders, you just chill the fuck out. This is transformative.
I think it's a bad lizard. He swallowed a star. Zoslahalawa. The first 2 syllables didn't mean anything to Eileen, but hala meant enemy, and wa was an intensifier, meaning something like great or superlative, and also a verb conjugation that signified eternal time, or maybe forever. Great eternal enemy? The iwi called skull crawlers halakra, persistent enemy. Zoslahalawa, he lived in the long ago below, like Kong, like us. He ate a star there, and it made him evil. He could throw rays of the star out of his mouth and burn things, so it was decided he could not live in the long ago below. Iwi and Kong made bonds of friendship, become one people to fight Zoslahalawa. They fought for a long time, trying to make him leave. Something went wrong, I think. Someone broke a taboo, maybe. Anyway, Kong and Iwi traveled together in darkness until we reached the light of this place. We left all of the bad people behind, and the Zozlahalawa with his stomach star, too. There was peace for a while, but then some monsters followed us. The skull crawlers and some others. Kong's parents fought them. So did Kong.
If you guys are still here, please comment down below the code word, I don't know, code red or something, if you're still here. I appreciate you guys if you're still here. Hopefully you caught all that. Like I said, I edited it down to its most important parts I'm going to be talking about. But the two major things to keep in mind from that is, number one, the timeline where this story takes place. Not the timeline where G is saying it, but the actual story she's talking about. Because to me, it sounds like the story takes place way, way, way after the Great Titan War, way, way, way after the landfall of King Ghidorah, and it sounds like it takes place just before Kong is born. So maybe like 15 years before the events of Kong Skull Island. So a very recent events in human history, for one, and the MONSTERVERSE. So keep that in mind. The second most important thing is Zuzula and his people, it sounds like they never left the Hollow Earth. So with all that in mind, let's get into my first theory. This one is not the most interesting one of the bunch. That's why I'm going to get it out of the way first. But Dagon is one of the Godzilla that were in the Hollow Earth living with Kong's species. No, it's not too easy. There's nothing to back it up, and I'm not even trying to say that Dagon is Zuzula. I'm just speculating that because we don't know where Dagon came from. We don't know if Godzilla and Dagon have interacted at all, and we don't know where Dagon was during the Great Titan War, where he was when Ghidorah landed. All we know is he pretty much appeared and fought the Muto Prime and died to the hands of Muto Prime. And shortly after dying, Godzilla must have showed up at some point, and because they look very similar, they worship Godzilla, thinking it was Dagon. At least that's how I interpreted the Godzilla Aftershock flashbacks. So it's possible that maybe Dagon was one of the few Godzillas to live in the Hollow Earth peacefully with the Kongs, and then something, Zuzula was causing ruckus down there and caused the Kongs to blame Dagon and kicked him out of the Hollow Earth, which led him to discover human civilization, fight the Muto Prime, and then die. Which, who blamed Dagon? And we're going to get into that in theory number 2. Theory number 2 goes like this. Emperor Kong, aka Long Kong as I've been calling him, is Zuzula. Hold on. Wait, because it's Zuzula sounds like it's a Godzilla, because Godzilla shoots rays from his mouth and burns things, right? Well, what if hypothetically this Kong that was driven to the Hollow Earth by Godzilla, just like the rest of his kind, lived down on the Hollow Earth, discovered the Hollow Earth energy, swallowed something, it's probably not realistically a star, but absorbed something and became corrupt. And then now he saw the Kongs as weaker or inferior to himself. So maybe he was picking off the Kongs, and maybe Dagon was actually down there, and this is how they framed Dagon, and Dagon left. But the only quirk about Dagon is that, as I said, it sounds like Zuzula never left the Hollow Earth. It sounds like they were continuously battling Zuzula, and then Kong and the Iwi people had to leave Hollow Earth to go to Skull Island. So that is the only monkey wrench and Dagon's theory. But Zuzula being the Emperor Kong could be very likely. I mean, he doesn't have to shoot atomic breath from his mouth or his eyes, but he could definitely have electricity powers, or maybe a Kamehameha power, or a Dragon Ball power. Maybe he shoots a orb of energy from his hands, like Goku. That'd be really cool. And, I think it's very likely. I mean, it sounds really weird, but the only wrench in that is that Gia talks about a bad lizard who swallowed a star and became corrupt. So who possibly could be that bad lizard? And my third and last theory, guys, is Zuzula Halua is a corrupted Godzilla. I mean, obviously, come on. There's a cave painting drawing that never got used in the movie of a flying blue Godzilla fighting red Kongs and red Godzillas, which not to say that they're actually red themselves, it's just saying that they are aligned on the same side fighting a blue enemy. So who is this corrupted Godzilla? Well, this leads into another theory that actually D-Man suggested, and I think he's on to something. And I think it would be really cool if they implemented, there are 2 Kongs and 2 Godzillas in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. We have Kong and Godzilla, the ones we all know and love, and then there's the corrupted Kong and the corrupted Godzilla in this movie. And that would be a very, very interesting dynamic of a Godzilla fighting another Godzilla. We've never had that in the past. I mean, sure, you could argue Godzilla fighting, some versions of Mecha Godzilla is technically fighting himself. But no, we've never had a flesh and flesh Godzilla versus Godzilla. A flesh and flesh Kong versus another Kong. And imagine, I'm going to talk about this in another video. If Godzilla did the final blow on Emperor Kong, and then Kong does the final blow on the corrupted Kong. Do you see the poetic pattern there? Godzilla kills Kong in quotations. Kong kills Godzilla in quotations. That would be really, really cool. And out of all the theories I kind of talked about today, and all the theories that I might talk about in the future, I think this is the most likely one to actually maybe not come through fruition. What? I guess what I'm trying to say is that this is the theory that actually sounds probably the coolest, and this is something that they should do because neither in Godzilla or Kong's history has something like this happen. And I think that would be a really cool tag team death match, and that's something that you want to predict to happen. Now, who is the corrupted Godzilla? Well, Zuzula Haru, of course, that's the whole theory of the video, but who is he? What did he swallow that was just so bad that made him evil? And as I said at the beginning, the story doesn't sound like it's describing Godzilla. That would be the most likely thing that pops into your mind is that, oh, maybe this is where Godzilla got his powers. But like I said, this story that Gia's talking about sounds like it's in recent memory. It's not like eons ago or thousands of years ago, because in the story, it suggests that Kong's parents fought the Skullcrawlers that followed them to Skull Island. And as we know, when Kong was born, his parents died shortly after. So, this is like me to believe that this is a different Godzilla, probably one who, maybe just a basic Godzilla, who swallowed something and got godlike powers that surpassed Godzilla himself. Maybe this is their introduction to Space Godzilla. Maybe Space Godzilla actually is in the movie, and this is his origin story, just a Godzilla who was in the hollow earth, swallowed a star or some type of energy, became corrupted, and became Space Godzilla, and is pulling the strings on Emperor Kong. That would be something. But I don't want Space Godzilla in the movie, so I'm going to discredit that. So it's just a corrupted Godzilla with, powers that surpass the G-Man himself. But what do you guys think? Let me know what your favorite theory is. Let me know your own theories down in the comment section down below. And that is my time, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. And as always, stay awesome.